This is the first in my 2017 4th of July card series. This quick card came together using stencils primarily and distress ink. It's a very simple design. I've given a little flourish with a gold bow and a few gold sequins. The inside is just a little kitty cat waving pom-poms. It says hooray. I don't generally make a lot of cards for 4th of July, but I thought that it would be nice to show a few designs nevertheless. Alright, this card has a die cut happy. You can't really see very well for the video, but it's popped up a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Let me go through the materials that the card uses. I have a card base cut 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a black mat which is cut 5.25 by 4. I have a white panel which is cut 5 by 3.75, and in order to do the punch out I'll need some fun foam, which is going to be cut around 4 inches to 2, and a piece of black scrap also cut 4 inches to 2. In order to make it stick, I'm going to try using this product called Stick It. This is an adhesive that's really helpful when you're doing die cuts in small intricate pieces like this. You attach it to the back of your cardstock, and when you run this through your die cut, you get adhesive on the back side of the item, so you just pull the release paper off and it will immediately stick to your project, instead of fiddling with Tombow like I may have to do a little bit of that too in order to get it to stick. Either way you want to do it is fine. If you don't have the Stick It, I'll show you how to do it with the Tombow. The inks I'm going to be using today is Distress Ink, Tea Dye, Fired Brick, and Faded Jeans. I'm also going to be using blending tools for the stenciling. I have one for the red and the blue, and of course Versafine Onyx Black. I'm going to be using gold sequins and some gold thread. The stencil I'm going to be using today is a Tim Holtz Rays. I've already done it once. You can see it's red and I haven't cleaned it. And another stencil which I got from Walmart, I think, which has stars on it. Any star stencil will do just fine for this. And I'm using a happy die cut, which I got from a die cut set by Little Yellow Bicycle, but any die cut that will do the word happy will do. I'm also using the Artstamp large numbers by Fiskars to get this fourth. And for the little kitty cat, I just have a little stamp that I got at the Goodwill. It was a giant bag with all kinds of stamps on it, and I thought this was cute. Okay, let me clear this stuff away and jump right in and show you how to make the card. Okay, first I'm going to show how I got the Stick It, the fun foam, and the cardstock all to be together. It's going to look a little bit more complicated than it actually is, but I'll do my best to explain it. So the fun foam is self-adhesive on one side. So the first thing I want to do is to adhere that to the black cardstock. And I do that by pulling back the paper, the release paper, a little bit so that I can control this thing a little bit better. And then I place it on the cardstock. And I'm trying to be careful that I line it up, because this fun foam is exactly cut to the size of the cardstock, so I want to be sure that I get it straight so I don't run over to the side, because I'm going to need all of this. I'm going to make multiple cards. Alright, so now I have the cardstock on one side, the fun foam on the other. If you didn't have this product, at this point you could just go ahead and die cut this out as you would, and then you would just take the Tombow once you get the finished die cut and just adhere it. But we're going to try this way. So this stick, it has release paper on it, and I'm old, my eyes are going, so it takes me a few minutes to see the seam in the release paper. Here we go. Okay, don't tear it. And I tore that. Let's try the other corner. Let's see if I can get it with my tweezers. Okay, now I got it. Okay, the release paper is on both sides of the stick-it. So on the foam side, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the cardstock. Try to make sure that I line it up straight. Need my tweezers back. It's like watching me with rhinestones, isn't it? There we go. I thought. It is sticky. Okay, that's another piece. And now you can actually see the release paper better. There you go. I thought. Alright. Alright. Now, clean this out of the way. At this point, you take the die cut and you put it on the cardstock side, because this is the top. And you run this through your Big Shot. Now I have this giant piece of fun foam cardstock because, as I said, I'm going to make a lot. But for just the one card, you just need a smaller piece, which you see this is what I used to make the original. So I'm going to run this through my die cut and I'll be right back. Okay. Now I'm going to need my pokey tool to free this, I believe. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, I'm not getting the release paper at the same time, so I'm going to leave this in place for now and do the rest of the card and come back to that. But this piece is a little thick. That's why I didn't want to come all the way through. If I had run it through my Big Shot 2 times, it would have released, but I didn't. Trying to do a little bit of fast action, and that was the price, but it is all right. Moving right along. The next step will be doing the stenciling. So I have some painter's tape, which I have put onto my arm to make it not as tacky, because I don't want it to stick to the paper. I want it to release easier. So I'm going to line up my stencil at a diagonal point. I think that's a good spot. And just use the tape and put it in place, but not accidentally covering over the stencil parts, because I don't want this stencil to move while I am pressing it with the blending tool. You could skip that part if you were confident that you could hold it in place, but I am not so confident, so I'm going to use it. So first I'll do the stripes with the fired brick, and then I'll go through and move the tape and do the stars with the faded jeans. I'm going to run music because this is pretty self-explanatory. I won't need to do any talking as I go. And please enjoy the music provided by my brother David Marsh. Okay, now to do this part. As I said, it's going to be adhesive on one side. So I'm going to just gently pull it up and free it from the paper. And it is a little sticky. And I'll use my being careful not to tear it or deform it. I'm going to pull it back so I can see it a little closer what I'm doing. Alright, that took a few minutes, but I got it. Alright, so when I next do this card, I'm going to have to make really sure that I run it through my Big Shot several times to cut all the way through the foam and the adhesive and everything, because this looks a little bit rugged. So we're going to call this one the prototype. Okay, but as you see, it is sticky and it just goes in place, and I don't have to try and get the little pieces glued. Okay, the final thing I'm going to do is a little bit of sparkle on the stars, just on the upper edges. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see it in the video, but in real life it's really sparkling a lot. So it just gives a little bit of something something when you look at it, twinkling as a real star would do. Okay, I think that's about enough. Yeah, okay. That's the finished card. Get out of the way, sequin. Okay, I wanted to show you real quick how it looks like when the die cut releases as it's supposed to. This piece of paper does not have the stick-it on the other side, so it's not as thick, and that other piece was extra thick because I had put the stick-it on the wrong side. Instead of putting the stick-it on this side, I put it on this side. So I had to put an additional piece of cardstock on the top in order to get the proper paper, because I didn't want to waste the fun foam because I don't have a lot of this particular red. So anyway, long story short, this is how it should have come from the die cut the first time I did it. As you see, it comes right out, no problems. And it's just a matter of taking the pokey tool and poking the little extra bits right out, and you see they come right out. So I didn't want anyone to see as much trouble as I was having with that first one and think that this is how it's supposed to be. It isn't. I just made a little bit of a boo-boo. Truth in advertising. So I'm showing you full disclosure, everything that happened. So you see, it comes right out. So for this one, since I don't have the stick-it on the back side, I will just take the Tombow glue and just put a few dots of it here and there all over, and then with my tweezers try to pretend I'm doing this because I don't have another one ready. Just lay it in place and press it, and the adhesive will stay. And then once you have it where you want it to be, you just put something heavy over it, and just like 10-15 seconds it will adhere. Okay, just so you can see that it is possible to do this, I die cut it again, and this, as you see, has the stick-it on it, and it comes right out. Just poke this out to free the die cut from the die. Just a second here. Didn't get it. Oh, jeez. The nails. Sorry, people. Hang in there. There we go. Alright, now as you see, it came right out, and the release paper is just a matter of pulling the paper back and exposing the adhesive, which you see me do right here. Just put the end up, see? And it is sticky, and it'll go on to the work. There we are. And I'd like to thank my brother for providing the music that I use for my videos. He made a special Independence Day celebratory music sounds for this, and I also put in a little bit more to the mix. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I put out new content pretty frequently. I'm trying to get more subscribers, so please spread the word for me. Thank you for watching, and have a happy Independence Day wherever you are. Take care.